the front is still too high. I'm gonna have to drop the front some more. Coming up. Am I gonna get this thing on here by myself? I'm not sure. Go down! Go down! Hey, how's it, Oaks? And welcome back. And welcome to the new subscribers. Happy that you guys are on board. Appreciate it. My name is Duff from Rat Rods for Africa, a one-man shop in the middle of a forest where I realize rusty dreams. We don't get much snow in South Africa, at least not where I live. But I still know about the snowball effect. And that's what's going on here. All I actually want to do is to paint this load bin now. But before I can paint it, I need to finalize my cutout here. To finalize this, I need to evaluate it against what's going on in the front. And I'm looking at the whole truck. I'm looking at the stance. What do you say? Stance. Tomato. Stance. And I'm seeing that the front of the truck is still too high. I'm going to have to drop the front some more. In a previous video, I did take out the coil springs and cut one turn off of them. I was considering a turn and a half or a coil and a half, and then I chickened out. But it looks like I'm going to have to take off that extra coil as I originally thought I was going to do. I've actually taken the tape measure and I've measured here to the floor and here to the floor, and this is actually less than that. So even with all the weight up front, engine is now in, transmission is in, all the body panels are on, the front of the truck is still too high. From an aesthetic point of view, this opening here is too much for me as well. Okay, let me see. So sitting here in my thinking chair and looking at the wheels, I'm sure I still see some positive camber, which is a good thing, because that means I can afford to bring the front down a little bit. Let me show you what I see. So look at this wheel. It does seem to have some positive camber to it. And I've got all my body weight in place up front now. Even the battery is in, obviously the engine and the transmission and the body panels. Check the little rat running across the floor. Only thing missing is the front bumper. But that won't make much of a difference. So I'm gonna just put a spirit level here against the tire for what it's worth. And if I look at the spirit level, and I know the truck is sitting level, even that is showing me some positive camber on this wheel here, which is great, because if I can then lower the truck by taking out that half a coil on the leaf spring, when I've done that, hopefully the tire will be sitting at sort of a zero camber. Right, my wheel is off the floor, so I'm going to be brave. I want to take this wheel off, rip that spring out, and cut some off of it. What the hell? If all else fails, I can always get another set of springs. He who doesn't dare doesn't win. Oh look, my brand new disc is all rusty. So everybody says safety first. I say common sense first. And this is just common sense. In you go. Right. So check this. Here's the beauty of this one piece front end. That can just tilt. Hey. Access. So it's actually very easy to take out this coil spring. This one is a dusty one. Up here it's got 2 bolts with a little U-clip that holds the coil spring at the top, and in the bottom there's one big ass nut that you undo, and then you can pull the whole spring out. So let's undo the top bolts, get the U-clip out. So before you take those top bolts out completely, it's a good thing to put the I-beam or swing beam or whatever you want to call it on a little jack. So you just keep that tension on it. Now it's easy to take these bolts out completely. The top U-bracket is in there, but it's swung out of the way. And I'm just going to lower that jack and the spring should pop right out. Let's see. There you go. I did already undo the bottom nut some, so that the spring could come out sideways. Take that nut off completely. And we've got one coil spring. There it is. So half a coil is at that white mark right there. Let's measure the change in spring length. So here I've got, I'm going to work in millimeters, say 37.4. If I go to this point here, 35, let's call it 35.4. It's a change of 2 centimeters, 20 millimeters. If I go to this point, that is spring length. It's gonna drop the truck itself by much more than that. I reckon probably double that. So the front of the truck is gonna go down, if all works out as planned, by about 40 millimeters, which is pretty much 1.5 inches. That would be nice. The price I'm gonna pay for lowering it more, because the spring is shorter, got less spring movement, it's going to make for a stiffer ride. Yeah, let's see how it turns out. I've got my coil spring clamped to the bench. I've got my grinder ready with a cutting disc. I've got air ready, because when you cut spring steel, you would like to keep it as cool as possible. If you heat it up, it's going to lose its spring steel properties. My final call for mercy, Sean at Street Truck Garage in Cape Town. I hope you can hear me, brother. Please keep me a set of coil springs on standby, just in case I stuff up these. Here goes. And this piece is now going to the scrap bin. So let's put this puppy back. Get that bottom nut on first. Line it up there. And now I've got to jack it into place. Let's do it. I'm just going to line it up there with that indent, if I can call it that. Feels pretty good. There we go. Right, it feels seated very well. Down here looks okay, I think. Right, let's get that little U-clip in place. Just going to tighten up this U-clip that holds the top of the coil in place. Let me just stick my finger in there and feel if it's good. Everything feels pretty sweet. I think we're good. Just going to tighten it finally. Okay. That's that part done. I'm going to tighten up my bottom nut now. There he is. And let's tighten him up. Yeah. Okay, cool. Now I'm just going to take out my little jack here. And then the job is done. That was pretty quick, eh? Let me go do the other side quickly. And then we can put the whole truck back on its feet to see what she's gonna look like. I can't wait. I'm gonna use the piece that I cut off the other spring to mark this one. And then I know they are exactly the same. Okay, let's get this wheel back on here. There we go. So now we're close to getting this truck back onto its feet to see what the change will be. What difference that cutting that half a coil on the spring make. Where is my other wheel nut? Okay. Hoppa. The moment of truth. Drum roll, please. I guess I should have measured this distance before I did this, and I didn't, and I'm sorry I didn't, but I can see a definite drop. That's as far back as I can get the camera, but I'm just going to measure here and see. That's 34 and that is also 34. Well, it's definitely moved down. At least it's parallel now. I would have liked it to have even more of a drop in the front, but I think I'm gonna have to live with this. I don't think it's a good idea to cut those springs any further. I'm just gonna check out the camber. Yeah, so looking from here, definitely not negative. And if I compare it to the back wheel while sighting down there, I even see that it might even be still have a slight positive camber to it. So I think I'm actually quite happy with the camber. It's looking good. So I really think I've taken it as far as I can. I can't cut those springs any further. So I'm going to have to settle for this for now. If I want the front more down, I'm going to have to look at drop spindles. Yeah. So I'm going to settle for this. So I think. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.